Welcome to the Kombat AllStar Show, brought to you by Quantum VFX, making the impossible possible. I am Kombat AllStar. Pow. Today we got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. Let's talk comic books. Looks like Captain America and Spider-Man aren't going to be in the same movie together after all. Sony and Marvel had negotiations to put Spider-Man in the movie, the third Captain America movie, with Iron Man and Captain America. Now this was supposed to kick off the Civil War saga that they're going to be doing. They're going to be launching at the end of the Avengers movies, and starting with this movie. And as you all know, Spider-Man was the right-hand man to Tony Stark during the whole Civil War thing. Spider-Man was the one that took off his mask, was the first one to show his identity, aside from Tony Stark, of course. And then they really start getting things moving. Negotiations happened early this week, I think around Monday, Tuesday, at the end of that weekend, and now they kind of broke through. I think it's because of the Sony hack. There's a lot of things going on with that, and it's just bad business for those guys. Everything has been exposed, budgets. They've said some negative things about Obama, about a lot of the actors that they've worked with. So no one really wants to work with them, and they're running a lot of people the wrong way, and that could be when negotiations broke down. So, I mean, with that, only time will tell. Hopefully, things work out, and, they find some way to come to an agreement to have that. Because that would be awesome, to be very consistent with the comics, to actually show the dynamic between Spider-Man and Iron Man, because it was an awesome dynamic in the comic book, and then the dynamic between Captain America and both of those guys. So it would have been really cool to see. Hopefully they can work something out. That would be awesome. Time will tell. Let's talk wrestling. One word. 2 words. NXT R-Evolution. That was awesome. It was better than any pay-per-view I have seen in a long time. I mean, in the past, 5 years, definitely. I mean, it was better than WrestleMainia 30. It was better than... It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, every match, I was at the edge of my seat every single time. I mean, the Finn Balor, the Finn Balor and Hideo Itami match with Ascension was amazing. It was a great match. I mean, Finn Balor's entrance was epic. That raised the bar for entrances for everybody. That entrance was on the level of Undertaker, maybe a little better than Undertaker. It was really, really good. And then they had an awesome match. So, icing on the cake, those guys killed it in there. I mean, you had Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, which was awesome. Sasha missed a few spots here and there, but all in all, it was a good match. I mean, she kind of goofed up on the crossbody outside the ring. There was a few spots in the match where she kind of botched, but Charlotte did a great job. She carried the match well, and it went over better than anything I've seen, like I said, in a long time. And any girl that's wrestling right now can look at that match and be like, that's what wrestling is supposed to be. Good job, guys. Really, really excited about the outcome of that match. I couldn't have been happier. I couldn't have been happier. There was also the tag team title match between the Vaudevillains and Lucha Dragons, which was an awesome match. They did some stuff in there that was like... Don't like the way it ended. I was rooting for the Vaudevillains, but it was still an awesome, awesome match. And then you had the main event. Before I get to the main event, let's talk about Kevin Owens premiering there. He killed it. He killed it. I mean, it was a good back and forth match. The other guy who was with CJ Parker didn't do such a good job in the match. He did an okay job selling, but as far as performance, yeah. But it did make Kevin Owens shine a little bit more. So I really enjoyed that match. His face was kind of disbelief and happy that he was in the WWE. It was awesome. I mean, he told a great little story in that match, even from coming down the ramp, when the bell rang and then when the bell was over. He told a great story. And then later with the main event with Sami Zayn going against Adrian Neville, they were going back and forth. It was awesome. There was a lot of drama in that match. I don't think those guys has the charisma to pull off the drama, really. But you gotta get your feet wet sometimes, so I understand why they did it. It still was a good match all in all. There was some spots in there where it was like, what the heck is that move called? I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Great match. And at the end, during the celebration, you had Adrian Neville, give him a hug, and then you had, what's his name, Kevin Owens come back, celebrate with him, and then double cross him. So it was a great way to end a title match. You got a few right after the match, which is what you're supposed to do, and I haven't seen in a long time. So good job with that, guys. I think the weakest match on the card, and I don't even remember his name. It's the guy that's going against Bull Dempsey as far as competing who has the fastest match. That was a squash match, of course. It's kind of building a story. It was the weakest match, but it was supposed to be. It's for a reason. It's building a story. But I mean, it wasn't really that entertaining on the card. So, but all in all, NXT R-Evolution was awesome. I think it was better than WrestleMania 30. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it was better than WrestleMania 30? Do you think WrestleMania could step it up? Do you think they could take some advice or some pointers from the guys over at NXT? Because at this point, the future is so bright that the present looks so dim. So I would like to know what you think about that. Post down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let's talk video games. First impression of Guilty Gear. So, Guilty Gear looks amazing. It's a shame it's just for PS4. It's such a shame, but it looks great. I mean, they're doing this whole cell shading thing. I've never seen it done like this before. It's a lot better than Street Fighter. It looks like it's 3D, but it looks like it's 2D, but it's really 3D. I mean, when you do the certain moves and everything, you can really tell that it's 3D, the way they're angling and turning it. It looks really cool. It's as fluent as it's ever been. It's just, they're making it more open, more easier for people to get involved with it. Before, it's always been kind of like a niche game where people that are really into Guilty Gear will play it and everyone else really don't know or doesn't know what Guilty Gear is. But now they're making it accessible to everybody. They're making the inputs a lot easier and a lot easier for beginners to just get on that ride and just, learn as much as they can. And they're still keeping it consistent with the old Guilty Gear games, so the old school guys like myself can get on there and rule behind, kick butt with Venom and everybody else. So it's really cool to see that coming back. It looks awesome. I'm really jealous. I want to play it so bad, but from what I've read and what I've seen, it just looks like an amazing game. And I mean, those guys are doing a great job. I can't wait to, hopefully they expand a little more so it goes over to other consoles eventually. I'm not sure if they have a contract in place with Sony in particularly, but it looks awesome. I want to see more of it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Let's talk visual effects. So I was reading an article earlier this week, and they were talking about visual effects and how they're becoming more center stage. And a big part of that is the Oscars are doing awards now for it, and the VES Awards are being recognized more as an award show. So they're doing a lot of really cool things that make visual effects, front and center stage, which is really cool. So in the article that I read, they were talking about how the award is just like a visual effects award, and it doesn't break down the different types of visual effects or types of visual effects artists. So, like, some people are getting left out, and some people, their contributions aren't being looked at as important as other contributions. And it just made the argument that a lot of people don't know what visual effects is, really. And to give you guys an idea, visual effects is basically anything that happens in post-production to alter the film. So, anything that's shot after, anything that goes into making any kind of effect after everything is shot is visual effects. And there's a lot of different parts to visual effects. There are the 3D modelers, and they model the cities and the characters. They do all that type of stuff. Things that aren't real, but just bringing them to life. They're also the effects artists like myself, who do things like the magic and the explosions and just anything that has to do with anything that's like an element or any things of that nature. You guys know what I'm talking about. Also, there are the compositors who exclusively work with the green screen. They use Nuke. I mean, they may use After Effects, but they're basically pulling stuff out and they're putting stuff in. So they're cutting people out and they're putting environments and backgrounds behind them, or they're putting characters in there that are made in 3D. So this all works together to make all the amazing films that we see today. And a lot of people still don't know what they are. And these awards are, I guess, making it seem like I said earlier, some people's jobs are more important than others. So the article suggests that we have a category So every part of visual effects gets a category. So there's a category for visual effects for the effects guy. There's a category for visual effects for the 3D guy. So there's different categories that people can, win. So like, for example, Life of Pi, the compositors did an amazing job. So maybe the compositors should have an award for that. They were able to take the cat out, put the 3D cat in. It all looks seamless and flawless. So stuff like that. So it's an interesting thing to think about. Do you guys think there should be categories? Do you think that would clear things up and educate people a little more? Or do you think it's kind of fun how it is? Don't really care too much about it? Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you for watching the show. I really appreciate it. Anybody has any questions they want to ask me, go to Twitter at QuantumVFX, #AskCast. You can ask me anything you want. I'll answer back. If you have any show suggestions, let me know. I'll make sure it's a topic or I can talk about it. I'll give you a shout out, mention your name. And thanks again for watching. See you next weekend.